My mother died when I was very young, my father when I was very young, and then you end up growing in a place where it's tough. Like I'm a firstborn in my family, and as a firstborn, it's you or nothing. And I think this is how I was programmed, and this is how was my come up. Even the way the whole thing of fighting came about, like it was not something that I planned to do.
How did you start fighting?
I watched the movie Never Back Down, and I never backed down. And I just watched this movie, and I thought, oh snap, this is a sport. Fighting is a sport. Okay, I want to try it out. Where there was an advert for a gym, and then I went to the gym and started jiu-jitsu. Then at that jiu-jitsu gym, the coach there was also an MMA coach at Panthers, and I also happened to go to Panthers, and then that's how my journey started. I will not let him take anything from me. That is my mindset, that is my mentality when I go into fights. You cannot put me back where I was before. That's my mindset when I'm in there,
I love that so much.
I look at that and I'm like, you cannot put me where I was before. You're gonna have to kill me.
At the beginning of your life story, when you were working in the mines.
No working. We were not working. At the mines, like people say, oh, you're working at the diamond fields. No, we were smuggling diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The movie like Blood Diamond, right?
Food was scarce, and the diamonds are like 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from where I moved from my village. So instead of going to school, I chose to go to the diamonds field and smuggle diamonds, and like you dig them illegally, you sell them illegally. That's what we used to do. But in the process of digging and selling them, there is danger. Digging them, you have to go underground. Sometimes you're lucky you can go to the surface diamonds, but they're not really nice. Mm-hmm. The surface diamonds are not really clean. They're almost as close as to rough diamonds.
But what happens if you're caught?
Where?
Smuggling those diamonds.
I was.
The code to winning. Insights you need today to seize the world tomorrow. Today we have a special guest, an amazing guest, somebody I've been looking to interview for over a year right now. Without further ado, we're going to give you an introduction of our guest today. He goes by the name of Themba Gorimbo. Coming all the way from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. He is a UFC fighter, a stallion, a champion, and like I say, a beast. Somebody I look up to, the most inspiring story you'll ever come across within this specific podcast in the Code to Winning. Somebody who defines winning in every single possible way. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my brother, somebody I look up to, Themba Gorimbo.
Thank you. This guy, he's got the magic. He wants to loosen me up first before anything. I see. It's a pleasure to be here, bro. When I realized we were from South Africa, we brothers, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I normally don't like to do these things, like especially with people that I don't know, or they've not been recommended by somebody, but because you're from South Africa, and I realized, like, you know what, you probably know what I know, and we can talk, and we can relate to so many things, and so why not do it, and let's get people to, to understand us.
Awesome stuff. No, I appreciate.
Not explaining ourselves, but like talk about life and anything that you want to talk about.
No, I appreciate that. Like I said, when you reached back out, it caught me by surprise. I was in Miami at that time doing interviews, and I could not believe it. I showed, he's not here, two of my guys in my team. I'm like, this guy, I've been looking to interview him for a while. He just responded. I'm like, we're booking Miami. I don't care. I don't put everything aside. We're going to Miami. We need to interview Themba.
So you were here in Miami when I replied to you?
No, I was in Vegas.
In Vegas. Oh, I was in Vegas actually. I think when I replied to you, I was in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you doing there?
I was training and doing my rehab. So I had a bad injury going into my last fight, kind of like a broken ankle foot. So I was trying to make a comeback sooner, but the injury was still very bad. So when I was in Vegas, I was training, but also focusing on the rehab at the UFC Performance Institute. So now I'm fine. I'm back here in Miami with the family and at my old team, and Life is great. I'm looking forward to make my comeback. I don't want to call it a comeback because I think it's a continuation of my story. The fall was necessary, and now I just continue and go on to become a champion.
No, I love that so much. And I think the reason why I reached out to you, obviously I shared a few personal stuff with you when you started. I just loved, I feel like the top 0.1% people in the world have got the mental resilience. And sometimes that comes from like experience of life and the things we come across, how we grow up, the environment, how we raised. And just your entire life story just shows that you just had a never give up attitude. You just always were just resilient. And I think it's so important in today's world that you have to just continue to be resilient and push forward towards your goal. Before we start, I want to try and like get a brief background for our viewers and our guests. Can you just give us a brief?
Just on that one, sometimes you don't have to just go through the war, you know. You just want to put it out there. I think sometimes it also can be a downfall, you know, like trying to go through. Resilience is good, but like sometimes like when you are resilient and you're built with a character of wanting to go through anything and everything that is tough, you end up like making wrong decisions at times. And like, let's say going into my last fight, I should not have been there in the first place, but in the first place I was not supposed to be there. Then I raised my hand, I was in there, but was I prepared to be there? No. So it's not an excuse of have lost, but if it has happened in the other way, that I had won, I would have been celebrating in a different way and be like, oh, I won, but you know, this was what I was going through going into the fight. But like, resilience is great, but we have to have calculated resilience, and I'm only learning that now. Sometimes it's good, but going through the war is not always the way. We can go around it, over it.
What's the toughest part about resilience? Like, how does one end up building a strong mentality?
Strong mentality, you build it from. I think it's based on your background most of the time. If not your background, it's based on circumstances and life situations that you have gone through. And for me, I think like it all comes down to how I grew up and my childhood, like, and everything that I've gone through to be where I am right now. And I think that all these things added up to be here, for me to be here. And some of the things I need to let go of and some of the memories and whatsoever I need to let go of because I'm trying to go to the next level now, but I'm holding on to some of these things and using some of these things as ways to go up. But do I really need it? No, not necessarily. So I think resilience, I would say, like your question, yeah, it comes from your background most of the time, and there comes to a point in time in our life or careers that we might have to let it go and use new energy. And I think I'm on that phase now. And it's going to be great.
No, I love that. And I'm glad, you spoke about our backgrounds being from Southern Africa and just, coming to America as well. I often feel sometimes naturally as an immigrant, you always have to keep like one eye open, you know what I'm saying? In other words, you have to continually push because you have no one sometimes you rely on besides yourself because you're literally out there, and you're eye single to a certain goal. What's been the hardest part of you just always fighting to survive? Like what's been the hardest part regarding that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at my life, like most African kids, I happen to be the guy on the spotlight, but most African kids grew up without their parents. Their parents died when they're very young. And my mother died when I was very young, my father when I was very young. And then you end up growing in in a place where it's tough, like I'm a firstborn in my family, and as a firstborn, it's you or nothing. And I think this is how I was programmed, and this is how was my come up. And then moving to South Africa at a young age and trying to look for a job, XYZ, you know how it is in South Africa. You are South African, but you know how you guys do it. Sometimes, no, I mean, we're not talking. That's why I came here, because you are South African and you know the tough part about being in South Africa as a foreigner, firstly, And then as a foreigner who does not have papers, secondly, they call them kwiri kwiri. And you know how it is. And I was in a township location and tried to get jobs, tried to do that, trying to do X, Y, Z. And I survived that, and I managed to work my way all the way up to be where I am. And I mean, the rest is history, but it's I think it's I don't know how to say it in a way, but I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like everything that, like, let's say for me personally, that I've gone through, it's great. I love it. Even if it is bad, I love it because it's part of the story. I think I'm gonna end up having to have one of the greatest, most inspirational story in combat sports history.
I love that. You already have trajectory-wise, and we're going to go into it as well. I feel like trajectory-wise, with where you've been, the connections you've made, your story.
I don't think I've made connections. I think connections made me. No, like honestly, like when you look at it, it's just like I just managed to tell my story when I was still like in South Africa, when I started fighting, and like even the way the whole thing of fighting came about. Like it was not something that I planned to do.
How did you start fighting?
I watched the movie Never Back Down, and I never backed down. And I just watched this movie, and I thought, oh snap, this is a sport. Fighting is a sport. Okay, I want to try it out. And then I was working in the back of a bakkie of my boss, and then I took the number at Bayside Mall in Parklands. I took a number where there was an advert for a gym, and then I went to the gym and started jiu-jitsu. Then at that jiu-jitsu gym, the coach there was also an MMA coach at Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And I also happened to go to Panthers, and then that's how my journey started. And I was working as a security guard, so it was convenient for me as well to learn to fight as a security guard, and also having cousins that want to fight all the time.
I was about to say, like, I think there has to be some sort of historic context when you can actually fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't want, like, when I started fighting, I'll be honest, it was more to make sure that I am good to defend, not to defend, to beat my cousins that were older than me, and that way it came from. And I wanted to, to be the guy in township in Danun. I wanted to be the guy. And then also being a security guard at a very young age, I wanted to make sure that when I'm there at work, I'm able to beat these guys that are coming to steal in the shop. I was working at Pick and Pay Seco Center in Tableview.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how I started, and I was 19. It was tough, but that's how my journey started. And eventually the coach, I think, he realized I was good, Anthony Keto, and then he booked me a fight 3 months later. Then I won that fight very quickly, and I had a very terrible amateur career because obviously I was working as a security guard at this Pick and Pay,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a Pick and Pay that opens from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
So
were you working both shifts all the way through?
Yeah, because I kind of like was one of the best, I would not say this, but I was one of the best security guards there that would arrest a lot of people. I didn't have fear, so like I would just, if you steal, whether you're a staff member or the normal guys that come into the shops, and like also most people that would steal there were Zimbabweans too, man. And yeah, like I would pick up that, okay, these guys are coming here to steal. So I always had that one up, and I would arrest people and catch people that were stealing in the shop. So the boss that owned this shop, he liked me, and he wanted me to be at work almost every day.
Okay.
And this was a blessing and a curse at the same time, because now I cannot train MMA foot the way I want to. Now I'm working 7 to 11. It's double shift.
Okay.
7 to 11, so I would work 3 days on, 7 to 11, 7 to 11, and then 1 day off. 3 days on, 1 day off. 3 days on, 1 day off. And I'm still juggling my amateur career of MMA and, working as a security guard 3 days on, 1 day off. You do not training properly. So my amateur career was very terrible. But it taught me a good lesson, because my coach always had this saying to me. say, Themba, don't worry about your amateur career. It's fine. You must lose. Because, losing sucked. I lost a lot of amateur fights. I look like the kid that will never make it. And he always said to me, Themba, don't worry about... I remember these words from Anthony Keto. When we come from Dragon Power, when I'm crying in the car, going back home, and he's dropping us, and you always tell me, Themba, don't worry. And I'm in the car, everybody else has won, and I'm probably the only one that has lost. And he would say to me, don't worry, amateur career don't mean nothing. You'll see. Then actually, life is funny. When we turn professional, towards the end of my amateur career, I realized what is needed to become a professional fighter. So I quit the job as a security guard, and I started doing gardening. And gardening would allow me to train every day.
In South Africa?
Yeah. Okay. I would work in Blauberg. I worked in Blauberg, but I moved also from Danone to Parklands. And when I was in working as a gardener, now I was able to train every day. So my job started at 8, finishes at 4 as a gardener. So I'll train. I'll make sure that I will train and be the first one in the gym at Virgin Active, Tableview. I would be the first one to arrive when they open. And then I'll train for 1.5 hours, then jog to work in Blauberg. Then go to work the physical job, but I didn't work this job as a job. In my head, I was training.
Okay.
So the job, I'll do work. I'm at work, but I'm training. It's like physical work. I'm training. I always looked at it this way. I am training. This is not a job. This is training. And I looked at it that way. And then I'll finish work at 4. I'll jog home, 30-minute jog. Then I will get there and I will get ready for the next training. And then I'll be in the gym at 6 o'clock, and I'll start training. My first class was the jiu-jitsu class from 6 to 7. Then 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock was the 6 to 7 was, I still even remember the schedule. 6 to 7 was Coach Gary, his jiu-jitsu class. 7 to 8 was Anthony Keto's kickboxing class. 8 to 9 was Gina Ifuki's boxing class. Then after that, those 3 hours again, I would go to the gym and train at the gym again until the gym closed, and I go home.
Man.
And every day I would do it, and I won my last 2 amateur fights because I said to my coach, I want to turn professional. Then he says, win 2 fights, then I will turn you professional. Then he gave me tough fights. The last 2 fights that I had were very tough. My last amateur fight, actually, I fought a guy that had fought professional. So I think this amateur fight, I won it. It was a tough fight, but the guy had fought professionally before, and for some reason, I think he wanted to make a comeback whatsoever, and then they brought him back to amateur. And those days, the guy that he had fought and beat was fighting for the EFC featherweight title.
But why was he fighting amateur fighting then?
I do not understand. His name is Jared Halliday, and he had fought Abdul Hassan. But the system was weird. Back those days, the system was very weird. And this guy, he fought professionally before.
And you beat him?
Yeah, I did beat him. And the last 2 fights of my amateur career, that was the only time I went on a 2-fight winning streak.
Wow.
Other than that, it was win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. No,
win. Okay.
Win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win,
right.
lose. Then I decided, I want to turn professional. I told my coach, he says, if you win 2 fights, I'll turn you professional. Then I won those 2 fights. Then I think my last fight was around March or something like that. Then by June, I turned professional of 2013. And then I fought 3 times after that, June, and then I fought August, then I fought December, February, and I was consistently fighting professionally.
And then, but your journey to come to the United States when joining the UFC, I think you wanted to go to Germany before you end up coming over here. What?
No, this is EFC, the promotion in South Africa. I made my professional debut in Imagine FC, a promotion that was based in Port Elizabeth.
Okay.
So because my amateur career was so terrible that, like I told you, my amateur career was so terrible that the local show in South Africa didn't even want me. You understand what I'm saying? They would look at my amateur record and they didn't even want me to make my professional debut there. Yeah, I was not one marketable. Two, I was not. I am not like the guy that would say, "How you can become a superstar for us," And thirdly, I mean, the professional scene was like, you know how South Africa works. I can't go into detail, but like, you know how some things work there. And for a guy like me, it was a little bit difficult. So I had to turn professional outside of EFC, and I went to Imagine FC, and I fought at Imagine FC and fought this guy Sydney Moholo. And during this fight, I dislocated my shoulder, and I won the fight, thank God, and woke up in the hospital with a victory. And after that, I was 1-0. Then my first fight in EFC, I actually fought a guy that was considered to be going to become a champion there, and
So he was like the face. They were trying to like build him up.
Yeah, they were trying to build him through me too.
Okay, so you were trying to like you were the example. They wanted to like make sure
Yeah,
they thought it was going to beat
it was
you.
John Lube, but unfortunately I think he underestimated me, and I was so hungry, bro. I'm still very hungry, and I think I took him by surprise. I finished him in the first round.
Oh,
Yeah, very quick.
submission or TKO or knockout?
Submission very quickly, and then the second guy I did the same thing. The third guy the same thing. I think I went on a like winning streak of submission, finishing guys.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean when they initially I don't think when I was there they ever wanted to build me. So when I'm winning, then they wanted to maybe promote this guy or that
So you
guy.
disrupted the script.
Yes, of course. I did that. Like, I remember beating this guy. There was a guy, very good-looking guy. That they
So here there was going to be the face,
They
you
wanted
know?
to build him called Charles Wasserman.
Okay.
His nickname was Bad News. And I remember this guy backstage, just before the weigh-ins backstage. Like, this guy was so popular that 2 girls were fighting for him.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, before the fight. And in my head, I just went like this. Oh, you even worried about women? I'm worried about eating you. There is no way. When we stepped in the cage, when they were doing the announcement, I was saying to myself, this guy's got everything. I don't have nothing. I will not let him take anything from me. That is my mindset. That is my mentality when I go into fights. You cannot put me back where I was before. That's my mindset when I'm in there,
I love that so much.
I look at that and I'm like, you cannot put me where I was before. You're gonna have to kill me.
Wow.
And if you want to put me back there, you're gonna have to kill me. But we'll see. Good luck.
Oh my God.
So that was my mindset when I was fighting this guy, and yeah, I was doing so well there. Then I got a title shot in EFC. I was very young, and I think if I had won this title, I would not have been here in the UFC or sitting here next to you, because I think back then I remember why I wanted to win the title, and it was not for a good reason. The EFC title, when I fought Leon Maynard, in my head it was based on, like, I'm not the best looking guy, right? And I'm not a popular kid. So I wanted to win this title and use it as a validation to try and get girls. And it was not the right reason. Like, okay, win a title, then now you start getting girls whatsoever. It does not make sense, you know what I'm saying? And I was young when I was there by EFC. So I think...
was that like 2014, 15 when you did the title
2015,
fight?
yeah.
Okay.
So I lost that fight, but I won in life. Because when I lost that fight, that's when I actually met my wife.
Wow.
On a loss, and that's when I met my wife, and we're still together to this day, forever, But I lost the fight, like I say, which was I wanted to use it for the wrong reasons. But then straight after the loss, I met my wife. On a loss, depressed and whatsoever, but that was the beautiful part of it. I lost the fight, but I won in life.
Which is why I kind of want to segue to this topic. I'm a very religious person. I think I even told you, for my church, I did a service mission for 2 years in Ghana. But apart from that, I was raised like in the gospel. I strongly believe that our Heavenly Father and His Son Jesus Christ, I believe that they know us, they love us, and sometimes when you pray for a certain opportunity or situation, no may not mean no for that particular point in time, like in your situation. No may just mean I have something better for you in later in life as well. And I've seen, we speak about religion every now and then. How has like your beliefs played an impact in your life and like in your decisions as well?
I mean, I've always believed in God, and I believe in God, and what's funny enough, I have not been to a church willingly my whole life. I personally have not been to church willingly my whole life. I know because it's a cool thing to do, it's just that I didn't want to go to church, but I believe in God, I pray to God, and I believe my life is God's project, and maybe one day I'll be at church, maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday I'll be at church, but like I believe in God so much. But there was a point in my life where I did not believe in God, but not because I will not blame on anybody, but because you see, I mean, if it's still me, it's me. But like what I'm trying to say is like based on my circle of people, because there was a point where it felt like an embarrassment to believe in God, because when you are around people that say, "Oh, have you seen God?" or whatsoever, there's things and people like that, and if you have 20 or 30 people around you, or 5, whatever number it is, that are telling you, and you start thinking that it's not cool to believe in God, and you kind of like drift away from it. And I had that part of my life where I did not believe in God, and I think when I was at this gym where I was training in Johannesburg, my time when I was at FFM, I think it was a time where I did not believe in God, when I left the gym, then when I went on my own and did my own, I opened my own gym, and I started believing in God again. And
what was that switch? What made you go from not believing Him to believing Him?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to say this is thing of the past, but I mean, people change whatsoever. But like, when you are around people that don't believe in God, and
just
then
naturally brings you
to a point where, and they question everything, and you start also not to believe in God, and like that's why like you have to be very careful with your circle and people that you surround yourself with in terms of belief systems and things like that. I've not seen God whatsoever, but I think my life is His project, and I think that we have to believe in something. We don't all have to believe in one thing, but for me personally, I believe in God. Like I said to you, I've never been to church, but I believe in God, and I think that keeps me going as a person in terms of like my belief system in God, where I always say my life story is a project of God, like it's a script written by God. I just happen to be the main actor of it. So even when I fall, I know I'm gonna come back. It's not a fall, it's part of the story.
I love that. I love that so much. Boss, one of the things that inspires me so much about you, obviously we spoke about the resilience, but when you speak about the war, I kind of want to segue just a bit again in the beginning of your life story when you were working in the mines.
No working. We were not working. At the mines, like people say, "Oh, you're working at the diamond fields." No, we were smuggling diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The movie like Blood Diamond, right? So smuggling mines. Smuggling diamonds.
Yeah, we were smuggling diamonds.
Can you tell us about the story? If that's
like it's 2008. There's a big drought in Zimbabwe, and God blessed us with the diamonds at the diamond field, because we had a big drought where like food was not there. It didn't rain.
That was a time when the Zim dollar went like that, right?
I mean, Zim dollar was going down already, bro. Like, but that time is when we were. I mean, for those that don't know, I have once been a billionaire in my country, trillionaire. We used to have 5 billion, the Biera checks in Zimbabwe.
With the wheelbarrow.
I don't know, man. People like to exaggerate.
No, there was a wheelbarrow. I remember.
No, bro.
2003, 2004. I remember people going with the wheelbarrow as well.
It's a lie. Like,
okay.
It's a lie.
Okay, boss.
You can't go with the wheelbarrow to buy. There were Biera checks. Biera check, it's one note that is 5 billion. The Biera checks were 5 billion. So a bearer check, it's a 5 billion, trillion. So you don't have to get to a wheelbarrow size.
So SABC is fake news. That's what you're saying.
Who have you seen that gone to buy bread with a wheelbarrow?
That's what I watch on SABC.
No, I
news.
want to say and be honest, like, we have had tough times in my country, in Zimbabwe, but I think the bearer checks, it was like, you would think, okay, cool, if it's you're buying bread with 5 billion, maybe you go with a wheelbarrow. No, it was one knot.
Okay.
The bearer checks, I was at the diamonds those days. We used to sell our diamond with these bearer checks, you know, and it is maybe one knot or whatever, the trillion, whatever, like, you know, but it was never a wheelbarrow. Okay. And 2008, I was in Form 5, and I didn't want to go to Form 5, but I just went because I passed my O-level, and the diamonds came out, and food was scarce, and the diamonds are like 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from where I from my village. So instead of going to school, I chose to go to the diamonds field and smuggle diamonds, you know, and like, you dig them illegally, you sell them illegally. That's what we used to do. But in the process of digging and selling them, there is danger. You know, digging them, you have to go underground. Sometimes you're lucky you can go to the surface diamonds, but they're not really nice. Mm-hmm. The surface diamonds are not really clean, or they're not they're almost as close as to rough diamonds. The best diamonds, you would find them underground, where the swamp. So there was a place where it's called by the swamps. At the swamps, you get nice and clear diamonds, and the other diamonds that were the best diamonds were the ones that you have to crush stones, like those granites.
Yes.
The granites, you crush them, but that was too much hard labor. You have to have patience. Like, you crush a big granite, sometimes you find one or two Ngoda or the clear diamond. But the good thing that if you find a clear diamond, if you find the clear in the granite,
yes,
inside the granite, yeah, that will be like, you make a lot of money.
How much?
I've never gone there, but at the granite side, the guys that did that, when they cash out, and they'll cash out big. But they'll spend a month there because
20,000 rand, 40,000?
No, bro. It was US dollars. Rands were part of the payment when the US dollars are finished.
Wow.
Yeah, like, it's US dollars. Like, you get, if you have a 6 carat that is like clear and it's got a nice shape, 6 carat, you might get it. Good numbers start from 6 carat going up. If it's clear, and normally the one that you get from the place where I'm talking about, $6,000-7,000.
Wow.
Yeah. If it's very clear, like, you can get that. I mean, but you know,
but who did you sell it to, though? Because you had to smuggle it, so it was a black market.
No. There were buyers there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Straight cash.
Cash, and
Are they still hiring right now?
No. I'm joking. I wish. No, like, the diamond in the morning.
I don't want to get canceled, guys. That was a joke, all right?
No, don't worry. It's a part of life of our country, and it's part of history. So it's at 6 a.m. Every 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning, the buyers arrive from town, from Harare, from Mutare, from Mashingo, whatever. And we clean our stones in the morning because we go and dig at night. And then overnight, we walk back from the fields to our base. Mm-hmm. And when we are at the base, we clean, and then we sell to the buyers. So the buyers will be there from morning to like midday, like 10 a.m. Then the buyers are there, and they have clean money.
But what happens if you're caught?
Where?
Smuggling those diamonds.
I was caught. I was beaten by dogs, by the German Shepherds, but I was there the following week after. So you get caught, people get killed. I've seen people die, and like at the diamond field, it was a norm. It's either the police might kill you, or you might die from the dogs biting you, or you might die from it's like the mafias within the diamond community. they might beat you to death, or your syndicate, if you do something that is dodgy, they might kill you too. So it was like, that's a place where you sleep with one eye open.
My gosh.
At the diamond fields, you sleep with one eye open. And
Can you even trust the people that you're working with when you smoke?
I likely was working with one cousin.
Okay.
In the beginning, when I went there, it was a big group. And eventually, when you're working, you start figuring out where your luck is, who is lucky, who's unlucky within the group, and you're like, I don't want to work with this guy. He's not lucky, or he's lazy, or he's, you just start dividing yourself, and you segregate yourself to be working with, okay, I want to work with this guy. Because if you work with one guy, and some guys, man, like there's a saying that money sometimes don't go to some people, or some good fortune does not come to some people, and there's some people that are like, unfortunately not, like in this life, we may try to say everybody will make it whatsoever, but there is people that truly try their level best, and they still never make it.
And the reason I like your mining story, my father personally, he worked in the mines for 25, South Africa was a big thing back then, worked in the mines for 25 to 30 years as well, around that time frame. But it was around like 2 hours away from Johannesburg. It was like a place called Klerksdorp. I don't know if you know Northwest side.
Yes.
Around there, around Val Reef side. So he was working there pretty much most of my childhood before he decided to study law like nighttime, like around like working through UNISA, studying his LLB and doing so as well, to the point where when he ended up graduating and also heading that path of becoming a lawyer, he was getting a lot of like mining clients, because it was one of those things that he had that much of experience of 25 and 30 years. So whenever I heard the mining story, what people don't know is the fact that it's such a big market in South Africa. Kimberley, diamonds everywhere.
Yeah, I heard about those diamonds. When I was in South Africa, I'll be honest with you. When I was in South Africa, when I was working in Cape Town, and I heard about the diamonds in Kimberley there, I was tempted to go there. Because there is
smuggling is the same in Kimberley as it was in Harare.
But in South Africa, bro, you don't play there, bro. There's guns. In Zimbabwe, the only guns that are there are with the military, whereas in South Africa, bro, there's people that have guns, obviously. But in South Africa, damn, bro, you know how it is. That's the only thing that stopped me from going to do this. Because, in South Africa, you don't play. There is guns, and the people are ruthless. And I think the guys that do the illegal mining in South Africa are mostly foreigners, and the foreigners mostly from Mozambique. Obviously, some of my people from Zimbabwe, but most foreigners from Mozambique. And you don't play with the Mozambicans, man. Even when we were at the diamond fields in Zimbabwe, the Mozambicans, you don't play with them. They
dangerous, ruthless.
They're just ruthless, bro. Remember, the war, I don't know if the war or something, but they're brutal, bro. Like when it comes to those games, they're brutal. You don't play with them, bro. And I have respect for Mozambicans. That's all I can say.
No, that's interesting. No, now I wanna. Did you always, now segueing back now to the UFC? I know usually when people have a story, I want to respect your time as well.
No, don't worry about time.
Okay.
When
people usually have like a resilient story, or they've just been very consistent at just winning, they usually have like a vision they had like previously. Did you always see yourself as a UFC fighter, or was it something that?
I would be honest, bro. I was going through my charts the other day of my Facebook. I was talking long time ago with some lady that was here in America already. Long time ago. I think it's 2010, 2011, bro. And I was chatting with her. I went to this chat on Facebook. Facebook reminds you of things. Then I realized that I actually everything that is happening now, I said it a long time ago.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Manifestation.
Bro, it's crazy. Like when I was going through my chat with this lady, I can, while we're doing this, I would show you, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, I even mentioned that, bro, I was not even 4 fights as an amateur, and I was telling this lady that I'm gonna go to Miami. I was lying to this lady that I was gonna go to Miami. Like, I was trying to score points. It's crazy. Oh, you are living like.
How long ago was this?
2011. I'll show you. Like, it's crazy.
14 years ago.
It's so crazy that this chat, like, her name is Petronella. Like, oh wait, bro, it's crazy. If you go to the
So you were shying her.
yes, bro. Yeah, exactly. I was busy trying to say her, but everything I said to her literally is what's happening now, bro. Like, it's so crazy.
But did you have that vision back then, or was it just in the moment when you were saying that kind of stuff?
Bro, look at this chat here. I was lying to her. This is what was the date here?
6 December 2010. 2010.
Yeah. I said
15
to
years
her,
ago.
that's my dream country to be. One day is one day. Nice to meet you on Facebook.
Wow.
She was in America. She's lives in Cincinnati, Ohio, I think. Then look at the message, second message, 7 December 2010. She says, hey, she replied to me. Then I said, hey, I'll be in Vegas soon for UFC trial. And I was lying. This is the year that I started fighting. Look at that.
Incredible.
It's crazy, huh? And like, bro, it's so crazy to think that everything that I was writing, like, came true.
Unbelievable.
And I always say, I would be a champion in the UFC. I believe that one day I'll be a champion in the UFC. And bro, like, I want to show you when I was talking about Miami. It's ridiculous. It's like, out of all cities, I said Miami. And like, it's crazy that the gods or whoever that listens to what we say and what we want in life always make things happen for us.
No, I completely agree.
It's crazy. Like,
completely agree.
It's so crazy. Like, if you have a set goal, you work hard, believe long enough, I think things happen for you. Like, it's just the way things have happened for me.
My 2 favorite books, you know it as well. Obviously, it's going to be The Secret and also Think and Grow Rich. The Secret stresses a lot on the power of manifestation and like the outside sources of the universe, and that if you manifest certain things, eventually they come to pass. But you also have to act upon that, not just by manifestation itself, but you have to work.
I have acted upon
Exactly.
it. So check here this other one. What's the date there? 11 March 2013. This is the year I turned professional. Are you still in the USA? One day I will be there, and we'll be there for sure. Working hard to come that side and fight in UFC. This is 2013. Before I turned professional.
And 2013, that's when you started the EFC, right, in South
Yes,
Africa?
bro. I was still an amateur fighter, bro. Like, it's so crazy that all these things came to pass, and like, it's like God listens, and I took action, and look where I am now. Like, that's why I say to you, bro, even when I fall, I know that it's part of the story. It's gonna make sense one day. It might not make sense today. It will make sense one day.
Speaking about the fall part, boss, your first UFC fight.
Bro, check.
Okay,
This is what I
no.
want to say to you. This is the best part. Out of everything in America, what's the date here?
2011.
21 February.
21st of February, officially leaving SA, Sume. I have found a better offer in Miami, Florida. I'm shy.
I'm not even professional. I'm an amateur. I'm trying, like this. I'm trying to,
Pull a few strings.
Yes, bro. Do you see? I
can
said
see.
Miami, Florida, and it's crazy.
You literally said Miami, Florida.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
That's 2011.
Yeah, and where are we now?
Miami, Florida, doing a podcast 14
Bro,
years
like
later.
I tell you, bro, like everything that I have set out that I wanna be has come true. Some of the things have been delayed before, like, okay, cool, I wanted to have this thing when I'm this age or whatsoever. May not have happened at that time, but they all have happened. I wanted to be a champion in 2024. It has not happened. We are in 2025. Will I be a champion this year? Maybe yes, maybe not. Will I be a champion next year? Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know.
All I know,
I know that I will be a champion.
we will be there.
All I know, one day it will make sense. When we come back, we'll be like, damn, bro, this guy is crazy. But he actually said his path. Like, but part of it, it's like you go, you have a drop, and you go again. As long as you don't give up, as long as I don't give up, as long as I don't drop my work ethic, because one secret that I have, I'm not the, like I like to say it this way, I am not the best fighter. I'm an average fighter, but I know how to win, and I am the hardest working MMA fighter in the world.
Wow.
If you find somebody that says they're hardworking more than me, I mean, obviously, it depends on what we mean when we say that. I'm the hardest working guy in MMA. I work hard. And if you find someone that says otherwise, you found a liar. That's what I can say. Like, if you find someone that says that they work harder than me, that man is lying. I know that as long as I work hard and I have the belief in my head, I'm gonna make it happen. If I drop those two things, my belief and my hard work, then I don't have to fight. I know one thing, you can go anywhere around the world, any coach that I have ever trained with, anywhere around the world, any coach that I ever trained with, even some that I don't talk to, even any teammate that I don't talk to, even some of them that don't even like me, they can say 20,000 things about me, saying Themba is like this, like that. There's one thing that they will never say, and Themba is
your work
lazy.
ethic.
No, I work, bro. I have been working the same way that I've been working for many, many years, and that's why I am here.
And do you feel like there's a lot of entitled people that just get stuff without like deserving, and they just end up? I feel like right now we're in a generation of where the work ethic is not the same as it used to be. You know what I'm saying?
I don't judge people's work ethic. I like my work ethic. Everybody's work ethic is different. Some people's work ethic they may think that it's hard work, but sometimes it's like warm up for other people. What you think is your hard work probably might be my warm up. You know, what you think is your session is my warm up probably.
So you're the Kobe Bryant of the UFC. Is that what you're saying?
Bro, I don't know, but like one thing I know, I've never dropped my work ethic. I work hard, and sometimes I don't even want to, like, my body is sore whatsoever. I'm still showing.
No, I know. I
give
concur
my
what
best.
you're saying. I've been following your stuff for a while. Every day when I see your story, for the first time yesterday was the first time I saw you outside. You were out and about in Miami. It was the first time I never saw you in the gym.
Yeah.
You were in the gym on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah,
Friday.
but now I
Your
try to put less of that out. You know, like one thing I did now, I unfollowed everybody on Instagram.
I noticed, and you follow God and 2 God pages right now.
Yes, because that's what I want to see. That's what I want to know. Because you know what, there's point in time, like in my career, I felt inadequate, like I'm not doing enough, even though I know I'm working hard. I feel like I'm not doing enough because I see these highlights of people, these guys training with this guy, training with that guy. Then I traveled and trained with guys in big gyms, and I've gone to Russia, I've gone to this place, and I've realized there's one thing only that I need to trust. That's me. I'm the hardest working guy that I ever know. And as long as I work hard and I can keep my head strong here, my power is not in the group. My power is not in things. My power is in here, and I just want to make sure that I control what I see. Whether I like you or I don't like you, me following you on Instagram or whatsoever. It's not like many people think. Like I had this guy in the UFC message me once, a UFC fighter. He's like, hey bro, I have followed you 3 times, you've never followed me back. I feel like, you know, this is the only way I'm supporting you and you can support me too. I understand where he's coming from. I replied to this guy, I said to him, bro, me following you or not following you does not have a meaning. the relationship I have with you when I see you in person and say, hey, how are you, whatsoever, that has got more value than me liking your picture on Instagram. Sometimes I like it and passively just pass. And with no disrespect, I need to be there on social media for my sponsors, for business, for the sponsor side and advertisement whatsoever. And obviously just have this presence for the fans and people. But personally right now at this stage of my career, I feel like I don't want to see anything outside. I want to have real relationships, real things that I want to see. Like like if I have a text with whoever, you, my manager, my coaches, DJ, my wife,
Jacob House,
my yeah, you know, anybody that I talk to,
Jason.
like if I'm talking to people, I want it to be, yeah, you know, if you
genuine
think,
and
yeah,
authentic.
genuine, because sometimes I'm on Instagram, I might follow you and I don't even like you, you know, and I'm just doing it because I don't want to hurt your feelings, you know. And I follow these God pages because the Bible verses can guide me to life personally. Like the Bible verses that I follow,
And it's consistent with
and
the
it's
goal.
consistent. And I want to see this when I go to Instagram. I want to see this. And also, I'm a human being. I've got emotions. Jealousy is part of it. Anger is part of it. All kinds of emotions. I don't want to feel no emotion when I go to Instagram. If I go to Instagram, I'm going to post and leave. I delete Instagram off my phone when I download it. You see, I downloaded Facebook right now when we're sitting here. I don't want to be like, I go there, post, and I leave. I don't want to have my life controlled by those things. Right now, at this crucial point of my career, I need to make sure that I do everything right and I will never have a regret. If let's say it does not pan out the way I think it can be, it can be. I don't want to have a regret and say I should not have felt that way about that person. If I see you and we see each other, we're in person, it's great.
No, I love that so
If
much.
I think that's the most important thing right now, because all those emotions and the human emotions that come, they come through when you see. If you see, let's say on your phone now, you see a lady half naked and you're on your Instagram, there is gonna be a feeling that you feel. Temptation or anything. No, not even that. You can judge it and be like, why are people?
Yeah.
Who are you? I don't want to feel these things, whether it's good or bad. I don't want no feeling. I want to focus on, I know I'm good enough. I know I'm self-aware that I'm not the best fighter. I'm an average fighter who knows how to win, and I have the best work ethic according to me. And that's all I need to know.
When was that decision made where you wanted to just like switch off?
2 weeks ago.
And what prompted that?
Just because I felt the need to. I felt, okay, cool, I'm going back to my injury is gone now. I'm going back to my full training. I'm now focusing on the next fight.
Okay.
I'll be booked anytime soon from now. Probably I'm fighting in June. What I know is I'm fighting in June.
Is it going to be in Vegas?
We're pushing for Vegas International Fight Week.
We'll be there.
Yeah, June 28th. That's what I'm pushing for.
Okay.
We'll see, but like,
Is there a fighter out there? Oh, you don't want to say it just yet?
no, I can't say nothing, but I'm fighting in June. What I know is I'm fighting in June. I had a fight offer for May, but I turned it down, not because of anything, just because I wasn't ready mentally to take a fight, to be in a position to take a fight whatsoever. And it just felt like I'll be coming back sooner than I should. I need to do myself justice and prepare for my fight. And I'm going to fight in June.
No, I love that. And there's someone out there, I know there's going to be somebody that's going to be watching this episode right now that is going through a transformational period in their life. It's really, really hard. There's a lot of setbacks. There's, things are not going their way. And knowing with your experience and your life and everything that you've overcame, what advice would you give that person out there?
When things don't go your way, always it comes back to God. I believe in God, so it always comes back to God. Maybe He doesn't want you to have those things in that time. Maybe He wants you to feel that way in that moment. Because sometimes the lessons are not for us. Sometimes for the lessons are I'm sitting here right now and explaining some things of my life that I may need to explain. I lost the last fight. I went through a big depression. I'm sitting at home. I don't want to wake up. I go and make wrong decisions. When you're depressed, you make a lot of wrong decisions, and a lot of people, I'm glad enough that I didn't make extremely wrong decisions, but depression people think like I would also think, you know, like coming from Africa, being a black guy, I always thought depression, and I'll be honest, I think depression is for rich people, for white guys, you know, like I'm black. So this is the honest truth that what we always think, hey, we've got bigger problems, but hey, bro, it can touch anybody. Depression can touch anybody, and it can happen to anybody, and you might not know what it is until you are there, and sometimes it's too late. You understand what I'm saying? For me, before, I would not say this, but I'm not embarrassed to say it. I got through that, and I'm now in a better phase of my life. I made wrong decisions. After my last fight, I was traveling to go to train in Russia, but I'm traveling with a bad injury. And then when I'm there, a week in, I'm like, what am I doing here? In Russia, I should be with my family. And I'm realizing I've spent so much money to be here in Russia. Then I'm like, damn, let me change my ticket, let me go back, you know?
Wow.
I was supposed to be there for a month, I was there for a week. You understand? Because I'm like, I'm trying to train and all I'm doing is I'm getting fat. Because it's so cold that I'm always constantly drinking coffee and I'm staying in my room.
And you're depressed, so you're probably eating a lot as well.
You're eating a lot.
Defensive,
you're eating a lot. I'm like, and then I had to realize, like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm literally getting fat and I cannot train properly. I'll go to do wrestling and I'll wrestle, yes, but like even when I'm doing the warm-up, I'm falling because my leg does not have balance. And you know, like it was stupid, but it was necessary because I know now how they train in Russia. I know now how the mindset work in Russia. I managed to meet the Olympic gold medalist, Sidakov, and I had some chat. I chat with him, and I learned few things about life and everything, and how other people who make it to the top of pinnacle of any sport. And one thing I can tell you is sacrifice. I saw how he sacrificed Sidakov, who is an Olympic champion, world champion many times in wrestling, how he sacrifices, and he's from that town, but when he has competition coming up, big competition, he leaves where he stays, his family, whatever, and goes straight in the wrestling academy, dormitory, in his room. He's training or he's reading. You know, like things like that. And I learned those things when I was there. Was it necessary for me to be there? No. But maybe if I stayed here, I would not be a pleasant father to my kids when I'm depressed with this loss and thinking about life and everything, you know. So I needed to be away from my family for that period. When I came back, still struggling, but, you know, worked through it, and now I'm better. I'm the best at the moment, and my mind is ready to take on anybody.
Wow. I love that mentality. I love that so much. And now, as we, the story that kind of shocked the world, that kind of sent shock waves, was obviously that post that kind of was very transformative for you when you posted that $7, Bank of America, by the way, so I had to make sure to remind you it's Bank of America because it's my bank, so I know the screenshot when I remember seeing it. It's Bank of America, just in case you forget.
It's tough.
$7.49. I've been an international student myself, so I've seen, he's seen, we've seen, and we spoke about it the other time. We're thinking about our freshman year when you're like, hey, I don't have enough dollars. You know, what can I do over here? You know, you're an immigrant. You are striving to pursue the American dream or a future for yourself. Can you just share that story for you, brother? That's my favorite story out of
So I have one good friend of mine.
Okay.
To this day, he's really, we are training partners. Like, you know, in the gym, you have training partners, and then you have a friend or two friends or whatever. And this guy is truly my friend. He's from Chile. He cannot speak, he speaks good, he speaks English, but, you know, we speak our English that we can communicate between me and him. And he can tell you better. Because like when I say, people think that it's like a lie or so ever. But he can tell you better that the morning of my fight, he bought me breakfast. I only paid him back after my fight, his money back. He bought me breakfast because I could not afford my breakfast. You understand? That's how terrible it was. The money I used, it was his card to pay the breakfast for everybody that was there. And because it's life, it happens. I went there, rolled the dice. I came to America to train, and then I was not even supposed to fight when I came to America. I came to America to train, and when I I was about to go back to Africa. I came here, I think, around end of March, and then we were in April, and then my flight to go back to South Africa was 29 April. I remember this. And a week before I was about to go back to South Africa, I was starting to be sad. Then the coach actually asked me, say, Themba, why are you sad? And I'm like, coach, stuff I think I must fight before I go back. Why? I'm like, no, I think I must fight. He's like, yeah, don't worry, you'll get a fight when time is right. But in my head, I wanted to fight because I knew that if I go back to South Africa, I might not have a chance again to train with these guys. And if I go back to South Africa, I'll be going to the same situation that I left, and even worse, because now I'm going back, great. I'm a UFC fighter, great. Do I have money to go even pay for my gym that I owned in South Africa for rent? Even for rent for my house. My wife was working so much, and she's a tutor and teacher, and she was doing a tutoring business. Like, she would work, finish at 8 p.m., starts at 8 a.m., working, making money for us to try and get going, And you go back, bro, life is so tough. You know that you won't have, I came to America with money that was raised by people for me to come here. So now I'm thinking to myself, if I go back, man, it's going to be tough. I don't have anything,
Especially rand to dollar.
Yeah, bro, it was tough. So I messaged my manager and I wanted a fight, and I messaged the matchmaker. I said, please, if anyone pulls out, please, I'm going back next week, but I would like to stay so I can fight. And they booked me a fight. It was 18 May, I think. 18 or 19 May. And I got this fight. And then when you get a fight, then someone told me, oh, Themba, if you get a fight, you can ask for meals, for UFC meals, to, like they have meal prep. Then they send you meal preps. Oh, then I said, thank you. I did not even know that. I got that, and then I managed to navigate to the fight. But fight week, reality kicks in, You're staying at the hotel. I'll be honest, like here in America at the hotel, you know how it is at the hotel here. When you get to the hotel, you have to put your card for a deposit.
Yeah, we did.
This happened twice to me. On my debut, I did not have money for putting down because like in Africa, we know you go to a hotel, it's paid for, you go in and you sleep and you leave. Here, you have to put a down payment on a deposit, right? And first one, when I made my debut, I was with 3 coaches. We came here. The person that made my I did not have money for my debut, for my, what do you call it?
Deposit.
For the deposit, Edgar, one of the guys from my management, he did for us. I asked him, and even like we're joking around about it last week, and I says, when I first met you, remember you asked me to do a down payment. I'm like, these guys from Africa, I don't know if I want
what have we put ourselves into?
Yes, what are we putting ourselves into, And he did a down payment on the what do you call it, the deposit, security deposit, and then on that second one too. Like I did not have money for this, and then he did for me, and I like Edgar so much, this guy, and he did for me again, and we stayed, and yeah, bro, like it's so tough, and I managed to go through the fight week, and then like luckily for me, during fight week, you get meals at the UFC. But my teammate that I'm with, that is helping me with cutting weight and everything.
But where were you living at this time when you?
No, you live at the whole UFC hotel in Vegas. So like my teammate that I'm with, I'm supposed to provide his food. I just said to Victor, brother, just pay for everything that you can with your card. I'll give you your money back once I finish this fight. And he's like, okay, no. He's a fighter and he understands that times are tough. So that's why, like these guys from Chile, man. I win my next fight. I would like to get on the mic and say, when I win my next fight, I would like to get on the mic and try to pitch him up, because he did a lot for me also, and I'm glad that we are back together in the same circle again, in the same team. And yeah, man, he's a good heart, and I wish him nothing but the best, because There's things that you do in life that will always forever mean a lot to people. And he did this for me during my fight week, the hardest fight week. And the day of the fight, I'm sick, and the $7 came through, and I took a screenshot. I'm like, when I go out there and knock this guy out or submit him and get a $50,000 bonus, I'm gonna post that, hey, look at me. I already visualize that this is the $50,000, but look at the next post. I had $7 in the morning. And that's how I posted. I didn't get the bonus on that day, but after the win, I'm like, I still want to share, because you know what? I was broke in the morning, and I came here and I won. Sick. I fought with flu. During the fight, my nose was blocked. Backstage, I couldn't even do warm up, and I went in there and fought, coming to it again, resilience, knowing that the day of the fight, I wake up with flu. I'm thinking to myself, must I cancel the fight? If I cancel the fight, great. The UFC might have a flight for me to go back to South Africa, but I'm not getting paid. And then you go home without getting paid, and then now you've ruffled some feathers. That you do, like, bro, like,
it's true.
It happens. It happens that people get injured or so. But if you don't know and you're not in the good books yet with the company, they might think that you're being a coward or you're scared or whatsoever. You know, like the fear of judgment of what people may think led me to fight with flu. I fought with flu, and I won and posted about the $7. And when I posted about the $7, it reached ESPN. When I was flying in Newark, I saw it was already on ESPN. Oh, a lot of followers coming on through.
I remember seeing it on
And then
Twitter,
I was doing my auction for my fight kit to go and build a borehole in my village. And then when I did that, when we finished doing the borehole, on the day we finished building the borehole, that's when the big man came through, The Rock, and he reposted the whole thing, and we started communicating in the DMs, and then like we just talked, and he said to me, hey bro, I would like your stories honest with me, and I'll be in touch with you soon. My team is gonna be in touch with your team, and when our schedules align, I would like to come and meet you and see your story is honest with me, and I would like to support you.
Wow.
And I did not know that the support was coming through in which way. So I was surprised, and DJ came through, and he has still doing a lot of great things for me. And it's a blessing to just be in this position, but it's time I also, I have to keep going and win, and maybe one day someone may come up with a story like this 10, 20 years from now, and it may resonate from me, or some story, whatever, and I might pick one too.
And I think it goes back to the saying you once said, you're not fighting for money, you're fighting for for freedom. What does freedom actually even mean to you regarding that?
I don't think that's true. I used to think this way, but I think for me now, at this point of my career, I need to understand what is freedom, and freedom is not be fearful of anybody's judgment. Like, I unfollow everybody. I know what people would thinks I'm better than them, or they think that I'm special now, or they think that I'm this,
he
I'm
thinks
that.
he's over here
now.
now.
He's over here now. Like, I had a call with some guy from Senegal the other day, and he's like, oh, this guy unfollowed us, and he thinks, like, and I'm like, it's not about you, it's about me. I'm trying to be at peace with myself and conquer my fears. So the biggest fear is like fear of being judged by the world, and thinking that everything I do, I have to explain to the world. And I now am, like when there's a saying that I put on my post every time I post now that says, don't pity me ever. Because I feel that's disrespect. Because it's not,
I like that. Oh my gosh,
I
like that.
Like I have this saying now, don't pity me ever. There shall be blood. When I fight, there shall be blood. My blood or the other guy's blood. But I don't know, does not matter. Don't pity me ever. Because I feel like being pitied is nice, but also being pitied can be a bad thing, because now you base your values and what you do according to what the world wants you to be, or the box that the world wants you to fit in. And I should not behave certain way. I should not post certain things. I should not, just because I'm fearful to be judged, because I come from this poor background. I should remain this way, or I should be this way. Not remain. I should be this way. I should be this guy. If I post, or I swear at somebody, someone swears at me, or I just don't like you. I say something about you. I should not say this because you're supposed to be a good guy. Nah, good heart does not need to be explained. If you have a good heart, you don't need to explain to people. And not every story needs to be explained. If someone has a way or has a thing about the way they perceive you, or they want to see you, or they can spread the news or say, this is guys like this, like that. Cool, let them believe that. I have one good conversation that is with the man above, and that's the only man I fear, and that's the judgment I fear.
Man, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's natural for us because we always naturally think what people say, and sometimes you look at the comment section, you're like, one comment can
You
end up
cannot
like
comment
affecting
on
your
my Instagram.
wow.
Whether I only these 3 pages I follow
Can comment because
and
you
those
follow them.
But they don't comment. They don't even follow me, so it's good. They cannot, like, whether it's my manager or it's UFC or The Rock or whatever, nobody can comment on my thing. I have relationships that are real with these people, so they don't need to be on social media liking my post. I don't even look cool, like, because this is where we're at now, where like, oh, I like your picture, then I like what you're doing. No, if someone feels like something I'm doing is wrong, they'll message me, and if they truly care, they'll message me at my personal phone number. Hey, bro, what you're doing is wrong. Please, can you do this? And we can have a conversation. Hey, bro, what you're doing, I like it. Keep it up. Things like that. Those are the meaningful things for me. And I unfollowed everybody, and everybody I think would be expecting, oh, why are you doing this and whatsoever.
But I think those that are true to themselves and know the journey that you're in are going to fully understand. It's those people
I don't need them to understand either.
Wow.
I'm at a point of my thing where I follow who I follow, and you cannot comment on my Instagram at all. Not because I feel like they can affect me, just because I don't want to give power to nobody. My power is here, in my head. My power is in my head. My Facebook is there. You can comment on my Facebook, but I only go post and bounce. I post, I'm out. I post whatever I post, and I'm out. I don't go and try to read and explain myself to people, whatever. I post and I'm out, and that's what's important for me. It allows me to be present too.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it allows me to be present in things that I do. If I'm at home, I'm at home with the kids. If I'm playing with my girls, I'm playing with my girls. There's moments and times when I have to watch YouTube. I would watch YouTube, and I would go on my YouTube and watch my fights or technique that I want to watch, things that I want to try in the gym. And those are the things that matter. But still, it comes back to me being me. I just want to be me, and I just want to be loved, firstly, by my 2 girls at home. If the world does love me, great. If it does not, don't love me, no, it's okay.
That's powerful.
Yeah, I just want to be focused on my journey, and I know I can accomplish this goal. But there needs to be a big mental shift. One, feels like when you have a story coming from a poor background and rising up whatsoever, subconsciously or knowing or without knowing, you might even become a victim, or having the victim mentality. That's why I have this mindset now, hey, don't pity me ever. I might have a great story of being broke whatsoever. I'm no longer broke anymore. Don't pity me ever. Because if you are an opponent and you pity me, I might end up killing you.
I love that.
Yeah,
and I think that's one of my favorite sayings. It says, "Be a victor, not a victim," because sometimes people try and be in this
I'm
mentality.
I'm not saying I'm a victim, but without subconsciously knowing, you might end up
because
feeling,
people pity you.
People pity you. You feel like you have to explain yourself to a lot of people. Yeah,
exactly.
For me, screw that. I'm not in that phase of my life anymore. my mindset, there's things that I normally would not say. My mindset when I fight is different going forward. And my mindset in life is completely different. And I just want to be able to have no regrets. If my dream does come true, I want to have no regrets. If my dream does not come true, I want to have no regrets.
That's so powerful. And I kind of want to segue to this. I love my favorite fighters. I just love when I see Africans just dominating like the scene. When I see Israeli Desani, I see Kamaru Usman, I see Francis Ngannou, I see Rodriguez Duplessis, I see Themba Gorimbo. When I see Africans at the UFC, that's how it's exciting. We see the African wave going up there. Where do you see the trajectory with Africa and the UFC?
I mean, the more Africans that will be in the UFC, the better, and the more chances we have of having many and more champions in the UFC. But one thing that as Africans we also need to do is be one. Everybody wants to be one. I also want to be the guy. Everybody wants to be the guy. Everybody wants to be this and that. But if we are one and we try unite, first the guys that we are in the UFC, the Africans that are in the UFC right now, if we all come together, and we don't have to be buddies whatsoever, but just support each other within our, the small group that is in the UFC right now. We're not competing. I think we should think of this. We're competing against the world, because I think we are the last to arrive at the scene. So we need to compete against these guys and try to show them that, hey, we belong. And I might be training in America now, but my journey started in Danone in South Africa of fighting. And when I fight, I'm representing these things and these people and where I come from. I've been in America for less than 2 years. And it's not like I've been here for a very long time. My DNA, like you guys say, it's not a DNA, RSA, something like that. My DNA is African, and everything that I do, still my mindset and the way I work, I've got that African mentality. And I think if we are firstly united, that's great. Then the second thing, that if we can get more and more Africans in the UFC, I think we'll have more numbers in terms of champions. But the best way to do it also, UFC is a business. You got to understand, we have to have the African community supporting and have the knowledge of MMA. Fighting is considered sometimes barbaric in where we come from and some parts of the world too. So we need to have people from, like the Mexicans, they've got the fighting spirit. That's why UFC is very invested in the Mexican community, because they buy the pay-per-view, those Mexicans, man. And they support each other. And I think this is the only way we can also have more Africans in, if the community is more involved. The more we have positive comments from the African community on the UFC pages and things like that, I think that will be oh wow, I think we need to go to Africa. If we have too many negative comments about Africans on the UFC page and whatsoever, I think it just drifts away from anything negative, drifts away anything good that may come. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
Yeah, so I think this is where I stand with it. But hey, I'm not God. I cannot fix everything.
I love that. As we conclude right now, I'm so grateful for the time that you've taken. I know how busy your schedule is. I know how committed you are. I know how resilient you are towards your goal. Just taking these few hours and time to sit down with us, we really greatly appreciate you being part of the Code to Winning. I'm excited to share this with the viewers. There's a lot of have African community back at home in Utah, actually, about maybe over 25. And so many people are looking forward to this just my close friends as well. So this is an episode that's going to go crazy in South Africa, America, Zimbabwe? You're going to promote
Definitely going crazy in South Africa.
The last question I always ask every single guest, because the podcast is called The Code to Winning, Insights You Need Today to Seize the World Tomorrow. In your opinion, Baba, what is winning?
For me, winning is something that has to do with a lot of things, but winning is being able to wake up every morning.
There's a mic drop right there.
Yeah, like being able to, winning is being able to wake up every morning, because that's what I do now. I always say I've won. When I wake up, the first statement I put on my WhatsApp status is, I have won. Thank you, Lord, for the victory.
Powerful.
Yeah, like anything else, it's extra. Like the first important thing is to understand that when I wake up, somebody is dying. When I wake up, someone is wishing to, life could always be worse. And when I wake up, I always thank God that thank you for giving me 2 kids that are healthy, a wife that is beautiful and healthy too, myself too, I'm healthy, and these are small things, but they are big things in the grand scheme of things. Because there's people that are out there that you may not know that don't have these things, that are struggling to have these things, and not even having to have millions in their bank account whatsoever. The small things that I thank God for when I wake up every day. I sound stupid when I wake up, but I always wake up and say, thank you, God, for waking me up. I've won.
Powerful.
And I'm grateful for this victory. And thank you for giving me kids that are healthy, wife that is beautiful and healthy, and the healthy that you have given me. Now let me go out there and do what I need to do.
Well, no further questions, ladies and gentlemen. The code to winning, insights you need today to seize the world tomorrow. Themba, thank you so much, Baba.
Brother, good to meet you.